environmental legislation, laws for environmental protection. Environmental legislation refers to the set of laws, regulations, and guidelines put in place by governments and organizations to protect the environment and ensure sustainable use of natural resources. These laws are designed to control pollution, conserve biodiversity, and manage natural resources in a way that supports the well being of all living organisms. In the last few decades, the importance of environmental protection has been recognized globally, and many countries have established comprehensive environmental laws. Environmental legislation aims to minimize environmental degradation, prevent the overexploitation of natural resources, and promote sustainable development. Key components of environmental legislation: pollution control laws. Pollution control laws are a fundamental part of environmental legislation, focusing on reducing emissions and waste from industries, vehicles, and other sources. These laws set permissible limits for air, water, and soil pollution and require industries to treat their waste before discharging it into the environment. For example, the Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1981 in India provides a framework for controlling air pollution and establishing air quality standards. Second, water pollution laws. Water pollution laws regulate the discharge of pollutants into water bodies like rivers, lakes, and oceans. These laws ensure that industries and municipalities treat wastewater before releasing it into water sources to prevent contamination and maintain clean drinking water supplies. The Clean Water Act in the United States is a key example of water pollution legislation, aiming to restore and maintain integrity of the nation's waters. Third, waste management laws. These laws regulate the collection, transportation, disposal, and recycling of waste materials. They set standards for waste segregation, landfill management, and promote recycling to reduce the environmental impact of waste. For example, the Waste Electrical and Electronic Equipment WEEE directive in Europe sets guidelines for the recycling and disposal of electronic waste. Fourth, biodiversity protection laws. These laws aim to conserve ecosystems, protect endangered species, and prevent habitat destruction. They often involve creating protected areas like national parks and wildlife sanctuaries, where human activities are restricted to safeguard biodiversity. The Convention on Biological Diversity (CBD) is an international treaty that addresses the conservation of biodiversity and sustainable use of natural resources. Fifth, climate change and emission reduction laws. These laws are designed to mitigate the impacts of climate change by reducing greenhouse gas emissions. They focus on promoting clean energy alternatives, energy efficiency, and reducing the carbon footprint of industries and individuals. The Paris Agreement, adopted under the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, that is UNFCCC, is a landmark international treaty that aims to limit global warming to below 2 degrees Celsius. Sixth, Environmental Impact Assessment, that is EIA. Environmental Impact Assessment EIA laws require developers to assess the potential environmental impact of their projects before they begin. These assessments ensure that development projects do not cause irreversible harm to ecosystems or local communities. The EIA notification 2006 in India mandates that certain categories of projects undergo EIA before clearance is granted by the government. International environmental laws and treaties. Environmental protection is not only a matter of national concern but also a global one. As such, several international treaties and conventions have been established to address transboundary environmental issues. The United Nations Environmental Programme (UNEP) plays a central role in coordinating international efforts for environmental protection. International agreements like the Kyoto Protocol, the Paris Agreement, and the Montreal Protocol have made significant progress in addressing issues like climate change, ozone layer depletion, and global warming.